Welcome to Friday Night Baseball on Sportsnet LA, brought to you by Jack in the Box. The first of three between the Dodgers and the Miami Marlins as we welcome you inside. Hope you're having a great weekend so far. Joe Davis and Orel Hershiser. This homestand off to a good start. It's good to get them off of the road where they went 2-8, but they went back-to-back games to open the homestand.
Yeah, and it's a team that needs to get on a roll. What a better place than Dodger Stadium to get on that roll. 7 more games here, and this is the best home team since 2019 in Major League Baseball, so they can do it.
So far this season, 10-5 here. Now, one of the quirks of last year's schedule was that they didn't face the Marlins or anybody outside the division. Marlins last season made it to the postseason for the first time since 2003. This year they're led by one of the top hitters in the league in Jesus Aguilar. But really, Orel, it's about the pitching for the Marlins. And the guy they have going tonight in Sandy Alcantara is their ace.
Alcantara is their ace, and he is coming into this game very hot. A lot of strikeouts, a swing and miss changeup that he will rely on a lot more than a lot of pitchers in the big leagues. And then on the other side, with Clayton Kershaw going, he needs to get on a roll like this team. Responded great to his career worst start in his last start, but here at home, he loves to pitch here at Dodger Stadium.
All right, let's check in now with the third member of our crew. Here's Kirsten Watson.
Thanks, Joe. And while there's been a series of unfortunate injuries to the Dodgers relievers, there is some light now here at the end of the tunnel. This afternoon, David Price threw a live BP session here on the mound at Dodger Stadium, and afterwards he told the media that he's feeling so much better. And Dave Roberts later confirmed that he is someone that here in a few days is either going to throw another live session or he will be activated. So only good news coming here.
All right, and happy 27th birthday, by the way, to the Catman Tony Gonsolin, who's working his way back. We've got the Dodgers and the Marlins. First pitch, game 1 of 3, coming up on a beautiful night in Los Angeles on Sportsnet LA. Baseball on Sportsnet LA is brought to you by Jack in the Box. Go spicy, classic, or both with the new $5.99 50/50 popcorn chicken with ranch, only at Jack in the Box. This 9-game homestand continues. The Dodgers trying to keep on rolling, taking both games against the Mariners. Now 10-5 at home this season. Best record in baseball at home since the beginning of 2019. 20-17 overall as they try to win their 3rd in a row tonight. Their 4th out of their last 5. Clayton Kershaw taking the ball under light blue skies on a bit of a cool night. Temperature in the low 60s. As the Marlins get ready to bat with this lineup from former Dodger manager Don Mattingly, who is the reigning National League Manager of the Year. A former Dodger, Miguel Rojas, leads it off. Then Jesus Aguilar, who leads the league in RBIs. He's 2nd in the league in home runs. Local product Garrett Cooper bats 3rd, starts in right. Adam Duvall's in left hitting cleanup, with Brian Anderson, the 3rd baseman, hitting 5th. Isan Diaz at 2nd. Chad Wallach doing the catching, and Magneuris Sierra is the center fielder and 8-hitter. Coors Light beating the pressure. Looking at Clayton Kershaw and his career in this ballpark. This season, he's got a 1.35 in 3 starts here, and it is career's 2nd all-time in wins and an ERA at Dodger Stadium.
Throwing the breaking ball, the slider, more often than he has in his whole career. And I guess you could call him a breaking ball pitcher, but really you find out the difference between good outings and bad outings with Clayton on how the fastball goes, because when he locates it and gets it near the edges, keeps it out of the middle of the plate. He's done very, very well this year. Has done a nice job this year avoiding the home run ball too. I don't think it's the ball. I think it's the quality of the pitches that he's been throwing.
Yeah, he's given up 3. All 3 came in his first start at Coors Field. 20-17 Dodgers, 17-20 Marlins. As Miguel Rojas climbs in, Kershaw winds and throws, and off we go with a fastball yanked foul. Strike 1. The Marlins, like the Dodgers, coming off back-to-back wins. They split a 4-game series in Arizona. And come into the game in 3rd place in the East, 3.5 back of the Mets. On an 0-1 pitch, Rojas watches a curve miss. 1-1, and the guy that helped save Clayton Kershaw's no-hitter with the signature defensive play of that no-hitter in the 7th inning. He was playing 3rd base that day. And he's gone from that really being the top line of his bio to the heart and soul of this Marlins team. And he's aboard to lead the game off as Kershaw hits him.
First baseman number 24, Jesus Aguilar.
It's not a nice way to treat a guy that rescued your no-hitter.
Maybe you're looking at it the wrong way. He's saying you rescued a no-hitter, so I'm going to let you reach base.
Okay.
Without hurting my average against. So the leadoff man is on, and Jesus Aguilar comes to the plate. Second in the league in homers with 9. All 9 of those coming in his last 18 games, and his 32 RBIs leading the National League. Takes ball 1. Aguilar coming off a series where he was 9 for 17, 3 homers and 3 doubles. .30-year-old in his 8th year with big league time. Just his 4th year, though, as a full-time big leaguer. Takes a little bit low. No swing, 2-0. Kershaw already asking Adam Hammery, where is that?
That is a very good pitch. You'll get a fastball a lot of the time, majority of the time on the first pitch from Clayton, but after that you're going to get mostly breaking balls. That was a slider right on the edge.
That's a strike, 2-1. Kershaw's faced the Marlins 13 times in his career. Has a .234 ERA against him. Last time he saw him, 2019. How about this? He struck out 20 in 13 innings. Quite a bit different looking group then, though. Aguilar was in Milwaukee. It's 3-1.
Good to see the 92 out of Clayton. Velo slightly down from last year, but still a little higher than back in 2019.
Full count.
A very crisp slider right there. I mean, if you see a fastball at 92 and a slider at 89, some people in a vacuum, not knowing it was Clayton Kershaw, would call that a cutter. Don't tell Clayton.
Nope. He didn't like to think of it like that. Doesn't like what that does to the way he grips it, the way he throws it. Chopped off of the hands to third. Turner's got a wait on it. It's a foul ball. And that can make a difference, right? Just what you call a pitch can make a difference in how you throw it.
It really can. It's unbelievable, the subconscious of how you feel the ball in your hand, what your body does after seeing the fingers, as far as the signals that you get used to, as far as like 3 is my slider, 1 circled is my cutter. And your body wants to take on almost the shape of the pitch, and you really got to train yourself to not let that happen, because you lose that tunneling effect when all of a sudden your release changes or maybe your delivery changes a little bit.
Another payoff and a high line drive to center field. Chris Taylor angling back to put it away, and Aguilar's the first out. If Dodger pitchers strike out 10 tonight, everybody gets a free Jumbo Jack tomorrow. A Jack in the Box with the purchase of a large drink at LA area restaurants. Kershaw coming off a game in Anaheim where he went 5 shutout innings and would have gone deeper, but they were leading 13-0 at that point. And so Dave Roberts took him out in a game that finished 14-11. The move that any manager would have made. First one to Garrett Cooper. Strike 1. Although that didn't make Clayton Kershaw any more happy about the decision.
No, they had quite an animated conversation on the bench as Dave gave him the message.
That was after he went just 1 inning against the Cubs. You know, he was trying to do his best to give him as many innings as possible. That's something he's done for the most part this year. Prior to those last 2 starts, among the leaders in baseball, averaging more than 6 innings per start. One ball, 1 strike on Cooper. Manhattan Beach native, a product of Loyola High School here in LA. On a 1-1 pitch from Kershaw, swings and misses, and he's already racking up the whiffs on that slider.
Marlins, the first 2 out of the first 3 hitters have hacked at the first pitch. Clayton not throwing as many first pitch strikes this year. I don't know if that's on purpose, knowing that the league this year's hitting 400 off of him on the first pitch.
Below 200 after. Barely gets a piece and stays alive.
Marlins are not a good breaking ball team. They don't hit the breaking ball very well at all.
They're 11th in the league overall on offense, 4 runs per game. They're dealing with some key injuries right now. Center fielder, their second baseman, and their catcher all out. Rojas at first, 1 gone. 1-2 to Cooper. Got him swinging. Might have been the best slider that he's thrown yet, and a first inning full of good ones.
A few of them have had that cutting action, and some have had some really good depth like that one. Gets that ball going down.
But 80% of his strikeouts this year have come on that pitch. Gets his first one tonight. 2 gone in the first inning. And Adam Duvall stands in. Kershaw very upset with himself as he misses inside ball 1. Strike 1.
He's just wearing out the inside part of the plate to the righties. But this year, when he's gone arm side away from righties, he has a very low batting average against, only 140. So he really opens up that outside part of the plate by how much he lives in.
And there, foul, 1-2.
Let him pull it foul all day long. Make sure it's in off the plate or in on the corner. And with all the sliders that he throws, the ball is breaking towards the hitter's kneecaps, so they're like swinging and coming over top of it and pulling it foul. Or Justin Turner also might have a real busy night the way he's pitching in.
Trying to pitch around the leadoff man reaching. Home with a 1-2. Right by the bag. Foul again. The combination of the things you're talking about, him pounding in, using that slider in, is a big part of the reason that Clayton Kershaw has a shift put on behind him against right-handed hitters more than any pitcher in baseball, and it's not close. Way more than anybody else.
Seager over there right in the 6th hole. And look how far Lux is over.
Basically where the shortstop plays.
Yeah.
Another 1-2. A curve falls out of the sky and gets him. Back-to-back Ks to finish off a scoreless first for Clayton Kershaw.
Backdoor curveball catches the outside corner. Arm side strike.
Mookie Betts to lead things off. Then Corey Seager. Turner hits 3rd and starts at 3rd. First baseman is Max Muncy. He's really heated up over the last few games. Taylor's in center field. Gavin Lux at 2nd. A.J. Pollock back in the lineup for the first time in a week, and Austin Barnes catches Clayton Kershaw. They face off with a 25-year-old out of the Dominican Republic, Sandy Alcantara, who is an all-star as a rookie in 2019. Opening day starter back-to-back seasons since, and he's been red hot lately. Or last 3 games, he's got a 1.80 ERA. Fastball at 97, and that's a little flash of the stuff he's got.
A guy who throws 97, 98 miles an hour, but he throws the changeup more than any pitch in his arsenal.
It's in on Mookie, 0-2.
You want to attack him early. Both righties and lefties struggle with him, just 203 and 204 against, but early in the count, the first 2 pitches is where you can get your average up to about 333 the league's hitting.
There's the change, 92.
Disgusting.
Here's 1-2. Backs Mookie off of the plate, ball 2. And the changeup usage up at 26% of his pitches. That was 10% last year. Coming off a game against Milwaukee, gave up just 1 run over 7 innings. Turns and fires, bats, watches a pitch miss down and away, ball 3. Betts hit it hard a couple times in the series against Seattle, had 2 doubles. Leading things off tonight with a walk. How about our keys to the game, brought to you by your Southern California Lexus dealers?
Race to 4. When you get 4 or more runs, you're the Dodgers, you're 16-5. If you're the Marlins, you're 13-4. So you got to get to that 4 spot first. Go deep, the starter for sure. Clayton Kershaw, when they go 6+ those starters, these Dodgers have a great record. And pen pals, the last 3 games, the pen has been not scored upon. So a total of 6 innings they've pitched, and they're doing real well right now.
Bats aboard, Seager up. 1 for 9 against the Mariners. There goes Betts on the first pitch. Got a great jump and he's stolen it.
Mookie's back must be starting to feel better when you're putting the landing gear down on your belly and you're running. And right there on the first pitch, tests everything in his body. Gets the walk and then starts to run. Watch his fingers, don't step on them.
Careful. He's had kind of an adventure on the bases lately, hadn't he?
Yeah.
With the cup check down in Anaheim.
He doesn't have one.
Nope. Seager chops it right side. That'll move Betts up. A juggle and a throw in time from Isan Diaz. Good Betts up to third.
Third base, number 10, Davis Turner.
This is one of the ways that you can flatten the curve on the offense from boom and bust. All of a sudden you start making some productive outs and just getting those little runs here and there throughout the game that can total up, and we get the 4 a lot quicker.
You know, as they're going through the stretch where they lost 15 of 20, they were dead last in the National League at doing what Seager just did, and that is advancing the runner from second with nobody out. But he gets the job done there, sets up Turner, who takes ball 1. Turner's 6th in the league and on base. He's 8th in slugging. And he has a home run against Alcantara. On a 1-0. Takes a strike, 1-1.
Justin not too happy with this one. Thinks it's down, and take a look at this, how shallow their outfield is, Joe. This is Justin Turner. Wow, they are way in.
Kind of looks like a winning run in scoring position.
Yeah.
9th inning.
It really does. I mean, the ball over their head is a double or a triple unless they think they really know what they're doing out there, and it's only 1 out. Now they're bringing the infield in with 2 strikes.
Shuffling Diaz over their left side. The 1-2. Good stop by Chad Wallach. Tim's boy. 2-2.
Change up. He will try and get you to chase that. Alcantara's trend is to not walk as many people, even though he walked Mookie Betts, but that's going to be a little harder against the discipline of the Dodgers.
Betts at third, one gone. 2-2. Turner fouls it into the glove. 99. He reached back for to get Turner for a big second out.
First baseman, number 13.
It's a pretty special fastball.
Up to Max Muncy here in the first inning. 4 home runs over the last 7 games. 2 home runs in his last 2 games. And leading the National League in on-base percentage.
Hitting the ball in the zone much better.
Walks have continued to happen for him, but punishing the cookies. Strike in the corner, and we check in with Kirsten.
Joe, after the Mariners game, I spoke with Max Muncy and asked him what's been working for him offensively, and he said that he's been working closely with the hitting coaches, making a few minor adjustments, and he's feeling that they're starting to finally take hold, and he's just feeling so much more comfortable at the plate and just relaxing.
Takes a ball here at 99, and it's 1-1. Reached in 6 of his 9 plate appearances in the 2 games against Seattle. And Wednesday night was a clinic. At one point, he had seen 10 pitches. 8 of them were balls, leading to 2 walks. 2 of them were strikes. 1 of them he hit for a homer.
Pretty good. Reminds me of Barry Bonds.
Yeah. Going to get 1 strike a game, and he's probably going to put it in the water. Mookie at third, 2 gone. Alcantara to Muncy with a 1-2, and he got him swinging using back-to-back 99-mile-per-hour finishing fastballs to strand Betts at third. Our T-Mobile coverage cam hanging out in the pavilion in the home run seats on a really nice night. Low 60s the temperature, light blue skies darkening above. No score to the second inning. Clayton Kershaw hit the leadoff man, then went 1-2-3, getting a couple Ks in that first inning. 5, 6, and 7 coming up here. Brian Anderson, the Marlins third baseman, leads off and takes ball 1. Anderson struggling, hitting .204. 2 for 15 in the most recent series. One lands in there, and it's 1-1.
Slider is locked in. 13 times, 11 strikes. Already got 5 swings and misses on it.
We might see it more than 50% again tonight. Curveball has looked pretty good too, hadn't it?
It's his weakest pitch as far as landing it, but as far as effectiveness, it's right up there.
174 average against. That's the one that he came to the big leagues with. But it was just that and the fastball, so guys stopped swinging at the curveball. Got him with the slider. That's the pitch that he added and launched him to Cooperstown.
This one's slightly up. It's got good movement. When it's up, it acts a little bit more like a cutter. When it's down, it's when it has that bite, that berry, like a slider. But it's both a slider.
Third strikeout in a row. Here's Isan Diaz.
Just in case he's going to watch the replay, I don't want him to hear me calling it a cutter.
That is strike 1 on Diaz, starting at second base, where he's been pretty much every day the last couple weeks because Jazz Chisholm, their fantastic rookie, has been out. Starling Marte, center fielder, was hitting above 300 before he went down with an injury. And they're without their catcher, Jorge Alfaro. So it's a Marlins team at 17-20. They're trying to keep their heads above water get those guys back and see where they can go.
And Chisholm brings him a lot of speed.
Excitement. He's rehabbing right now. There's a chance he comes back this weekend. Hope that he does, because he is a fun player to watch.
And Marte's having a career year.
A 2-1 is lifted to center field. No big deal for Taylor. 2 up, 2 down.
Everybody else get off the field. It's either a strikeout or a fly out to center. Everybody else can rest.
So far. Here's Chad Wallach, former Dodger and former Dodger coach Tim Wallach's son. Tim was a coach for the Marlins for a couple years as well. He's since retired. And Chad is already started more games this season than any other year in his career, with the aforementioned injury to Jorge Alfaro. Curveball. 3 for 3 on that pitch. 0-2. Good morning, good afternoon, good night, Wallach. Clayton Kershaw, bookend strikeouts on a 1-2-3 second.
One of the greatest baseball matchups is coming to town. It's the San Francisco Giants battling the Dodgers for the first time this season. The 4-game series begins on May 27th. Get your tickets now at Dodgers.com/tickets.
Giants dropped their game today against the Pittsburgh Pirates in extra innings. Their lead in the division is still 2 over the San Diego Padres, 2.5 over the Dodgers. Surprising Giants, best record in the National League. Chris Taylor starts the second for the Dodgers against Alcantara. Fastball cut on and missed, strike 1. Strength against strength if he's going with that pitch. Taylor has the #1 OPS in baseball against high velocity. And it really hadn't mattered what, right? High velocity, breaking stuff, off speed. He's reached it 9 games in a row, hitting .387 in that span. And on the season, he's 4th in the league in on base. Takes ball 2.
Cut down on the chase, which then forces the pitchers into the zone. And when they get behind and they have to throw the heater, he's punishing it.
On a 2-1, Taylor watches that tailback in there, 2-2. And it's something that quietly started last year. Chris Taylor chasing less, the walk rate going up. Made some subtle mechanical changes so he could see the ball better. He said at times it was like it had slowed down. Heard about guys talking about it looking like a beach ball. He said it was like it was in slow motion at times. He's worked it full. And this is a guy who a few years ago, remember, led the league in strikeouts.
I hope it continues. I'd love to see him make an all-star team. His value has been underrated.
A payoff pitch. We'll do it again. In terms of wins above replacement, which is an overall value that a player brings, since he joined the Dodgers, 22nd in the National League, right behind Rizzo and Votto.
A couple of all-stars.
Good take and a leadoff walk. So from one hot hitter to another as Gavin Lux comes to the plate. Biggest swing of his career in the Mariners series, that game-winning home run. Hitting .343 over his last 9.
Historic slap to his chest. I think it's going to go down in his career as one of the iconic moments for him when he looks at the highlights.
Historic because of the tagline he put with it.
Yeah. It's what the young players bring to a club, that energy, you know, when all of a sudden they start to accomplish stuff and the whole team is behind them and with them, and they're kind of taking a leadership role as far as on the field in certain wins. It's a big energy boost for the whole club.
One and one. Luck still just 23. He played this entire season at 23 years old. Been a rocky first couple of years, just in the stop and start nature to it. Came up at the end of 19, then last year never did get his footing. Slices a drive to left center field that takes off and gets over Duvall. Taylor read it beautifully. He'll stop at third with nobody out on a ringing double from Gavin Lux.
Usually a base runner looks out in the outfield and he's looking at where the outfielders are playing, mostly the angles and where the gaps are. But with this Marlin team, you got to check their depth because they are playing so shallow. Look how far he has to run to get to the warning track and finally catch up to that ball. Contra gives up a lot of jam shots, I guess, because they play shallow for him. It'll be interesting to see the depth of the outfielders when the other starting pitchers take the mound.
That was not a jam shot. Hit over 100 miles an hour. Yeah, they've got it teed up here for Pollock. Second and third, nobody out. As AJ makes his first start in a week. Chases the first one. Had I told you, and we saw him pull up with a hamstring injury last Friday night in Anaheim, that he'd be in the starting lineup the next Friday, you would have said what?
No way.
No. And I know that it wound up being just a grade 1 hamstring strain, but still, it's almost always an IL situation. So healed quickly. 1-1. This is the injury last Friday night. Late in that game, things are already going pretty poorly, and then this happens, and it's like, man, our pets' heads are falling off. But he's back in there a week later. He's given him some important pinch hit appearances since, 2 of them, and reached in both of them. On a 1-1 from Alcantara. He drives one down the line, foul.
So far against Alcantara, the Dodgers have done a nice job not chasing the low stuff. He's gotten his big outs with the high fastball. Lux hit a strike fastball. It'll be hard to catch up to 98, 99 at your shoulders or your letters, but the key is going to be laying off those low pitches, those change-ups at 92.
I can't get over that change-up at 92.
Me neither.
1-2. Sharply hit, and it wakes its way through. A.J. Pollock drives home Chris Taylor, and the Dodgers strike first. It pierces the shift.
Lux moves up 90 feet because he doesn't know if it's going to get through or not. You got 3 fielders on that side. A 91 mile an hour slider. AJ Pollock doing a much better job against breaking balls this year, especially in his hot streak right now. Chased the slider early in the at bat on the first pitch. That one for a strike. He barreled up.
And as we know, that has been his kryptonite, those down and away breaking pitches. How about this? He's now 6 for his last 9 against breaking balls. First and third, still nobody out. The hitter is Barnes. Very high, ball 1.
Alcantara's 9th start. In 6 of the 8, he has been outstanding. 2 earned runs or less. The Dodgers putting it to him here in just 2 innings.
Hey, some sweet kicks on Austin Barnes tonight for Armed Forces Weekend. See a few guys wearing special shoes. Land of the free. Home of the brave.
Very nice. Guys are going to have some really cool offices at their house with the way the shoes are made and have them on display. Kenley's got almost a room for his shoes.
Yeah, I think he does. A shoe room.
Shoe room.
So Alcantara, who's been dominant his last few times out, in some trouble here. Already running the bank. First and third, nobody out. And Austin Barnes, his first plate appearance of this homestand. Drills the ball way back to left. It is off the top of the wall. Barnes into second with an RBI double. That close to a home run.
No home runs on the year, but this is about as close as you can come to making it your first. 6 RBIs, gets his 7th on this. Just short. Almost deflected out of here for the dinger.
Now A.J. Pollock had to go first to third on this play, and immediately training staff came out. And he's having to show them that he's good to go, and I don't think they're convinced. So Pollock's going to have to leave the game.
In his pitch hit appearances, the first time he got on, they pinch ran for him. The next time he got on, there were a couple times that he could have advanced, but they decided just the score was out of whack. Let's just take it easy. And now he's in the game in the starting lineup and actually did have to run full out, and it looks like he tweaked it again.
And A.J., who's had so much bad injury luck throughout his career. I mean, anytime a guy gets hurt like this, you know they get bummed, but especially when he, number one, has the history that he has, and number two, has looked so good when he's been out there. You know, he just wants to bottle it up and feel like this forever. But an injury again interrupting him. Matt Beatty pinch runs. So Beatty into the game, presumably in left field, and in Pollock's spot in the order, that's 7th. And Kershaw up with runners at second and third, still nobody out. Strike one. We were talking with Clayton the other day about his Silver Slugger campaign. And he said he's going to try and get himself a dinger at some point this year, but he's going to pick his spot. And he didn't necessarily think that tonight was the night for that, knowing who he was going to face.
But it is a night where you can pick up an RBI here. Let's see if he goes into the crab crouch and just tries to be pesky.
Guaranteed.
Yeah, there he goes. Spread it out. Get down. Get in there. Short. Sweet. Get ready. Left side of the infield.
Smothered by Wallach. Ball one.
Alcantara, that high fastball is probably something he's thinking about. He's gotten the regular hitters out with that. You would think he could sneak it by a pitcher.
Not this one.
He didn't get it up high enough, and Clayton almost made him pay. You can't look for what you can't hit. So in some ways, Clayton just got to look for the gas. And if he can foul off the other pitches because they're up or hanging a little bit, great. But you go up there and think I'm going to hit the 92, 93 changeup with burying action compared to maybe a high fastball that's a little straighter.
You're saying no.
No. Yeah. I think you just look for the fastball, and I'm not even going to say adjust to the other pitches.
just look for the fastball.
Yeah, and try and put it in play.
Beatty at third, Barnes at second, infield drawn in. Another 1-2. How about that? Goes right up the middle with an off-speed pitch. Clayton Kershaw with an RBI single, and it's 3-0. Silver Slugger campaign continues.
Yes, it does. Outstanding. A high fastball the pitch before, and now the hanging slider. Clayton could hang his jersey on this one. It's just laying up there for him, and you see the little choppy swing. There's no follow through at all. He's just playing pepper. And playing pepper right back from where it was thrown. Well done.
Five in a row have reached open this inning. The bottom five in the order. And a chance for a big frame. Already 3 in the bank. First and third for Betts, who swings and misses. Strike one.
Kershaw's average is up to 333, Joe.
Yeah, it is. add a dinger in there. Signed, sealed, and delivered, baby.
If he hits over 300, he's going to be right in the race. Let's go. Come out early tomorrow, extra hitting.
Build on the good feeling. High on Betts, 1-1. I thought it was great that Kershaw knew the contenders in the league. He
exactly.
Knew, you know, Huascar Inoa in Atlanta, who's hit a couple home runs. He had his name. Said, you know, Bumgarner's probably going to hit a homer or two.
Yep.
High on Betts, ball 2.
I know a guy who won a Silver Slugger and didn't hit a home run his whole career.
I know him too.
You're sitting next to him. So Fernando hit him. He's got Silver Sluggers. Greinke, he's got a Silver Slugger or two. He hits home runs. You don't have to, though.
2-2. Sandy Alcantara had given up 4 earned runs in his last 3 starts combined. He's given up 3 earned runs before he's gotten the first out of this second inning. His 2-2. Betts pulls it down the line past the diving Anderson into the left field corner. Barnes can walk home. Kershaw stops at third on the 3rd double of the inning. The ball gets by, but Kershaw's not going anywhere. It's 4-0, and there's still nobody out.
This is starting to look like the club that played the first 15 games of this season when they were 13-2 to start the year, the best team in baseball. And through this little stretch of winning a couple games in a row, a lot of guys are starting to feel better at the plate, not just in this game, but throughout the last 2-3 games. Each individual guy feeling better at the plate.
First 6 have reached. Second and third for Seager. Fouls off the first one. It's 1-1. Alcantara with his filthy stuff that he's clearly got. He has the lowest barrel rate in the majors coming in. Barrels are the optimum batted ball in terms of high exit velocity and the perfect launch angle. He's given up fewer of those than anybody in baseball. Inside corner, strike 1 and 2. Dodgers have 3 balls above 100 miles per hour off of the bat in this inning alone. Making great contact against the guy that's limited that kind of contact better than any other pitcher. The 1-2. Seager stays alive. First pitch of this inning. Seager pulls it off Diaz and the beat goes on. Kershaw in to score. 31 pitches, 5 runs, no outs.
The off day didn't slow him down. They've been hitting off velocity during batting practice the last few days. They've been bringing the machine out and cranking it up. And since they've been doing that with the batting practice on the field, the guys are doing a much better job of hitting the ball hard in game. Seager trying to join the hit parade right there. He's been one of the guys that's been kind of cold.
Turner struck out his first time. He's got Betts at third, Seager at first. Coming out Hacken. Action in the bullpen. Zach Pop. Good name for a pitcher. Pop the mitt.
Yeah, I guess for Pop the mitt.
Yeah.
I'd rather be a hitter and be called Zach Pop.
Right.
Power hitter. I'll have a soda though.
Which is it?
Soda or pop?
Or is it a soda pop?
I grew up with both. But mostly pop, right? From Michigan area?
Yeah, it feels weird now though.
Yeah.
Saying pop. 0-2.
I think it's weird in the South when they call everything a Coke.
Right. Turner strikes out for the second time tonight. First out of the inning.
It's a food fight, an MLB food fight presented by MasterCard to determine which ballpark food is the best this year. Fill out your bracket and vote for the Dodgers at MLB.com/foodfight today.
Yeah, I'll have a Coke. What kind?
Exactly.
Orange Faygo.
No, I want a Coke. A real Coke.
Well, now I'm just confused.
Exactly.
Muncy takes a strike. Now the 3 Ks for Alcantara have come the 3 and 4 hitters for the Dodgers, Turner and Muncy. Pauses forever, and then some, and time. Well, they've eventually come in, but Wallach has done his part to, for the moment, save some runs in this inning. San Sandy Alcantara debuted when he was 21. The St. Louis Cardinals, and then came to the Marlins in the Marcell Ozuna deal before 2018. In his third full big league year now. Falls behind Muncy 2-1. So he debuts just a few weeks past his 21st birthday. Got to be nervous as all get out. But his catcher, Yadier Molina. Molina told him, just get it over the plate. Throw what I tell you to. I've got you. Muncy goes up and gets that one. Sends it way up there and out of here. Third straight game with a home run. How about an 8 spot for the Dodgers in the second?
Max absolutely crushes this ball. He knows it. He's in the box watching it. Check out the catch.
Oh, yeah.
Sweet.
Bring your glove to the game and get rewarded. And that does it for Sandy Alcantara, who had a 1.80 ERA over his last 3 games. He'd given up 6 runs total in his last 4 games. He gives up 8 here in the second and records just 1 out. What a catch he had on Max Muncy's 3rd consecutive game with a home run. Calm, never in doubt.
Some competition out there. There's a lot of gloves. Comes through. Number 1. Well done.
And so the Dodgers already into the Marlins bullpen as Zach Pop comes on for the 12th time this season. Still just 1 out in this inning as Chris Taylor comes up for the 2nd time.
Sinker slider mainly. Few 4-seamers every once in a while to change the eye line he'll throw you.
Taylor, who started this inning with a walk, takes strike 1. That walk came on a full count pitch. Alcantara's evening could have gone much differently. At the end of that at bat gone differently. There's 8 runs, tied for the most in an inning this year. And they've now scored 21 runs in, let's see, 19 innings in this homestand. $18 innings on the homestand. 1-2. Didn't bat in the 9th inning either of the 2 games against Seattle. Pops 1-2. Taylor pokes it on the ground to first. Backhand Aguilar feeds Pop, steps on the bag, 2 gone.
Pretty athletic play by both guys right there for the Marlins. Not the easiest of plays, running away from first base, having to feed it back to a pitcher.
Lux doubled and scored earlier in this inning. 5 of 9 on this homestand. Slides it in there, strike 1. 1-1.
These spikes in scoring are great for the Dodgers and really impact the statistics of the overall, how the offense is done for the whole year. But what they're really looking for is to kind of flatten it out where it's 4 and 5 runs a game.
A broken bat bouncer to short. Miguel Rojas guns it across, and they just barely get Lux. But the Dodgers score 8 runs here in the second inning. Max Muncy with his 3rd home run in 3 games on this homestand. His 5th in his last 8 games. 8-0 to the 3rd. Well, we mentioned the Marlins coming here, a return for Don Mattingly, but it's also a return for Kim Ng, who's the former assistant GM of the Dodgers. Hired this winter as Major League Baseball's first female GM. She spent the last decade in Major League Baseball's offices, but had a decade here in LA. A lot of that under Ned Colletti. And making history. Magneuris Sierra behind Kershaw, 0-2. Kim traveling with the team everywhere they go. It's normal for a GM to travel some of the time, but she said wanting to get to know her new group. She's with them every road game. As Sierra slaps a base hit to left. First hit of the game for the Marlins.
Clayton Kershaw had not been on the mound for 35 minutes, but he comes out with 3 straight strikes, even though it gives up that little ground ball. Good to see him finding the strike zone right away.
Well, we saw Matt Beatty come into the game to replace A.J. Pollock as the pinch runner. So he's in Pollock's spot in the order. That's 7th, but he's playing right. That bumps Betts over to center and Taylor from center to left. So pop to hit. Bunts through it, strike 1. This is where the name is a little better, huh? He's a hitter, and this is his first career plate appearance.
Got no pop.
None. Well, 1. That's his name. How about that? Lays the bunt down. Zach bunt. Moves Sierra up to second.
The defensive alignment in the outfield is because Clayton Kershaw is pitching. Matt Beatty, normally you would think you'd put your weakest outfielder in left field, but Clayton has so many balls hit the center and left that you've got the best defenders over there.
Second time through the lineup now, Miguel Rojas, who got hit by a pitcher's first time. 7 years in the minors with the Reds, and they released him. They didn't think he was going to be a big leaguer. Dodgers picked him up. He spent 4 years as a backup. Part of that with the Dodgers. Went to the Marlins pretty quickly, though. Everyday player for the first time when he was 29. And now he's the leader of this group. He's the longest tenured Miami Marlin. He's in his 7th year there. A guy Don Mattingly calls the ultimate overachiever. He said, I'm done setting expectations for him, because every time you set a bar, he clears them. Every time you say that's as good as he can get, he finds another part of his game to address. And with him, the thing has always been sparkling defense. He showed that in Kershaw's no-hitter with a saving play, but he's added really good bat to the equation. Hit .304 last year. Swings and misses, 1-1. He's done that through a lot of hard work. Very much a self-made guy who in the off seasons always goes back home to Venezuela, plays winter ball there. He thinks that's a big part of the reason he's grown so much over his major league career. 32 years old and a guy that just keeps getting better.
If you look at the body type now, he wasn't like that years ago, especially with the Dodgers. He has gotten much stronger. I mean, this is a guy who one of his nicknames was the Flying Squirrel. Well, that's not a squirrel-like body anymore.
Squirrel that's eaten a lot of nuts.
Yeah, he looks strong now.
On a 2-1, Rojas yanks a soft line drive into left field, base hit. They will stop Sierra at third as Taylor's throw goes to the plate. So Rojas has been on both times.
Number 24, Jesus Aguilar.
Goes down and gets it. Kind of reminds me of Fletcher with the Angels. Just put it in play. Make it happen.
Wee Willie Fletcher. Jesus Aguilar lined out his first time. Kind of a similar story to Rojas. It took him a while before he found his footing in the majors. Mostly a minor leaguer for his first 9 years as a pro. I mean, he played 30 games in a 3-year span with the Indians. Even though he was like the best hitter in the minor leagues, he just wasn't getting a chance. So he asked the Indians to release him. They did. The Brewers picked him up. And in his first full season, he was an all-star. Struggled in 19. Got released again. Tampa Bay picked him up, or Tampa Bay got him from Milwaukee, and then Tampa Bay released him. Marlins got him off waivers. And again, he's making somebody look smart for giving him another chance. Pump up talk for the barrel.
Bat's got ears.
2-1. His story's drawn some comparisons to David Ortiz. 5 or 6 years where he was a part-time player with the Twins before he even became a Boston Red Sox.
David Ortiz could barely pull the ball when he was a Twin. Then he became a dynamic inside fastball hitter and pulled an awful lot of them for home runs.
But not until he was 27. That's when he got his first real chance in Boston. Aguilar used to, anytime he was feeling down, go up and pull up YouTube videos of Big Papi highlights and say, that can be me.
Big Papi, Boston liked it because he could hit the ball and pepper it off the green monster. They didn't expect him to hit all those home runs, but then pitchers started pounding him in. He learned to turn on that pitch.
Kershaw gets Aguilar swinging. His 5th strikeout, 2 gone.
Good things don't happen for hitters when they get to 2 strikes and have to pick on Clayton Kershaw's slider. You are out.
5 more strikeouts. Everybody gets a free Jumbo Jack tomorrow. Jack in the Box with the purchase of a large drink. Valid only at LA area restaurants. This 2-out chance belongs to Garrett Cooper. Struck out his first time. Takes ball 1. Jam shot, right side, base hit. The Marlins are on the board. Garrett Cooper drives home Magneuris Sierra.
Number 14, Adam Duvall.
Fastball in. It's really a good pitch. Jams him big time. And Clayton a little bit upset where this ball gets hit, especially the success he's having with the slider tonight.
Three hits in the inning, bringing the first run in for the Marlins. And it gets the cleanup man, Duvall, to the plate. Kershaw struck him out on a curveball looking his first time. He's now 0 for 7 with 6 Ks in his career against Kershaw. Some of that with the Giants where he debuted, then the Cincinnati Reds, then the Braves, and now in his first year with the Marlins. One.
Clayton looks good in the camo hat.
I like it.
The right coloring. Just feeds right into his hair. That's clean cut for Clayton.
It's gotten a little out of control at times through the years. One ball, 2 strikes.
Wasn't that some great sound, the interview with him the other day?
Yeah.
Wow. A lot of fans on Twitter commented on that. Well, they enjoyed that interview. We sure enjoyed it.
Rojas at third, Cooper at first. Kershaw's 1-2. Popped out of his hands. Happened a couple times in this inning. 2-2.
First few curveballs tonight, he landed perfectly. Over 16 pitches an inning so far for Clayton. That's unusual. Wouldn't be surprised if next inning he gets out of this one, it's a 7-pitch inning. He seems to follow up when the pitch count gets a little heavy, gets a little out of the ordinary. He seems to follow it up with a quickie. Very unusual for him, especially with only 1 run.
Another 2-2 to Duvall. Is hit hard down the line, hooking, gone. 3-run home run for Adam Duvall, and the Marlins have answered the Dodger 8 spot with a 4 spot of their own.
Well, Duvall didn't let Clayton get away with a mistake. This ball gets left up, trying to go down and in, even back foot him, and it was up and at the top of the strike zone, not doing much. Just a little bit of break to it.
First home run Kershaw's given up since opening day. That's ball 1 on Brian Anderson. Beg your pardon, he gave one up in the start against the Padres. The 4th overall this year allowed. 1-1. Curveball comes back to the top of the zone. 1 ball, 2 strikes on Anderson.
Coming into this game, Clayton's ratio on giving up home runs is like 1 every 2 games.
Gets Anderson swinging, his 6th K, but a 3-run home run from Adam Duvall. The Marlins scored 4, and after 2.5, already 12 runs. Dodgers at 8 in the 2nd, Marlins at 4 in the 3rd. An 8-4 game here to the bottom of the 3rd. The Home Depot getting more done. There's Don Mattingly. 6th season as the skipper of the Marlins. Manager of the year in the National League last year, taking the Marlins to the postseason for the first time in 17 years. And not just doing that, but doing it after the Marlins had 18 players out with an early COVID outbreak. They had an 8-day quarantine in Philadelphia. His team had 174 roster moves in a 60-game season, and he still was able to guide them to the playoffs. Matt Beatty leads off the third, takes strike one. Not just lead him to the playoffs, but they won a series. They swept the Cubs in the wild card round. After 10 consecutive losing seasons and no playoff trip since 2003. One and one. Beatty in the game with Pollock leaving, like he tweaked that hamstring in his first game back. It's 2-1 on Beatty, who has been one of their hottest hitters. .394 over his last 14 games since coming back from the alternate site. 18 driven in those 14 games. On a 2-1 from Pop. Beatty watches it catch the corner, 2-2.
Liberal corner. The best umpires are usually the hottest hitters because they are really seeing the ball well. But it doesn't hurt them as much because they are so locked in.
Chops this one to second. Isan Diaz throws Beatty out. Quick word from Jack in the box.
Come on, $5.99, 50-50.
One away in the third. Here's Barnes, who missed a home run by what, a foot?
Yeah. He's got the padding at the top of the wall.
Still looking for that first home run of the year. Got a double out of it. Came in to score. Ahead 1-0.
Pretty much Clayton's personal catcher. With all the off days, hasn't been getting quite as much playing time.
Chop to third. Anderson circles around it, throws on the move. 2 up and 2 down.
Number 22, Davis Kershaw.
Here's Kershaw, drove in a run with a base hit his first time.
Hitting .333 now. Went into that bat, hitting just over .270. Clayton with the RBI and helping us out with the Silver Slugger campaign.
Helping us out.
We're in charge of the campaign.
That's true. Self-appointed campaign managers.
Yep.
Hey, your Silver Slugger year, you hit .356, huh?
Yeah.
That's awesome. Good job.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Found some holes.
0-2. Do you know what your career average was?
Just under 200.
How about just over?
Oh,
sorry
wow.
about it.
Oh, doggone it.
201.
Okay. I didn't want to brag.
No, right. Yeah.
You go back to that Silver Slugger year, we probably have time to go over every hit. What?
26 of them.
26. That's not bad.
You're right. You didn't want to brag, though.
How many starts? Probably 35 starts, 26 hits.
Kershaw looks at strike 3. It's a 1-2-3 inning for Zach Pop. Ultimate driving machine. Back at Dodger Stadium. Dodgers lead at 8-4 to the middle innings. Clayton Kershaw struck out 6. Hadn't given up a hit through 2. Then the Marlins got him for 4 hits and 4 runs in the 3rd.
Yeah, the offense is going to need to keep going, and Clayton's going to need to settle in. He loves to go deep into games, so get the pitch count under control. Maybe try and have a really quick inning right here. Still finishing up his warm-up since he was the last out last inning. And just pop out of the dugout. Needs to have a good response to the offense and his rough inning last inning.
6, 7, and 8 coming up. Isan Diaz to lead it off.
Good part of the order to have a good inning.
Diaz, 24-year-old out of Puerto Rico originally. Family moved to Massachusetts when he was 6. He grew up there. Grew up a diehard Yankees fan in Massachusetts, idolizing Jeter and Cano. We got to meet Robinson Cano the day of his major league debut. Cano was playing for the Mets. We got to meet one of his heroes that makes his debut, and in his debut takes Jacob deGrom deep with the longest home run deGrom had allowed in 2 years. Waits on a curve, wraps it in the ground. Turner in the shift, throws him out.
5 at 4-3.
A word from the Home Depot.
Scan the field and read the product review. Check inventory status and place your order easily in the Home Depot app.
One away. Here's Chad Wallach. One ball, no strikes. Wallach hit his first career triple yesterday, or earlier on the trip in Arizona. It's good triples park. Swings and misses at a slider, 1-1. One and two.
Find the range on that curveball like he just did, and that'll help lower the pitch count.
Got him with the slider. Strikeout number 7 for Clayton Kershaw.
Another slide piece right there. You get to 2 strikes with Clayton Kershaw. The league's only hitting 126 coming into this game. When he gets you to 2 strikes, you're pretty much out, and it's probably going to be a strikeout. It's probably going to be on a slider.
Yep, and yep. 2 up, 2 down. Here's Magneuris Sierra. Fouls off the first one. Sierra started the rally last inning with an opposite field base hit, beating the shift.
Clayton's only thrown 8 pitches this inning, so looking to let's get it done before 10.
Quickly 0-2. Get him right back on track if he could do that, or at least close to on track.
He definitely has a conscious effort of the pitch count. He wants to fill the zone up, but he fills it up even more when that pitch count gets a little out of control.
Innings pitched at the end of the year is one of the first categories Clayton looks at, what he takes pride in. Curveball gives him his 8th strikeout tonight. Responds to the 4-run third with a 1-2-3-4. Fan of the game tonight from Pacifico is Trevon. Cheering on the Dodgers, hoping they can get their 3rd consecutive win. They lead at 8-4 to the bottom of the 4th. And as Mookie Betts comes up, we check in with Kirsten.
Joe, Cody Bellinger today posted a video of him running on social media. And this afternoon, Dave Roberts said that he got up to about 19 miles per hour and that it was effortless and he wasn't compensating. So next, he'll take some simulated at-bats, and then hopefully sometime next week, he can go out on a rehab assignment, joining Zach McKinstry, who will go out on rehab assignment on Sunday or Monday, joining the OKC team.
Great news. Strike one on Mookie Betts. John Curtis into the game for the Marlins, replacing Zach Pop, who we failed to mention is a former Dodger farmhand that was traded in the Manny Machado deal in 2018 to Baltimore. Machado to LA. Pop finishes off the second, pitches a scoreless third. 1 ball, 1 strike on Mookie Betts. Walked his first time, doubled and scored in the second. Can't lay off 1 and 2. So the reinforcements coming. Boy, who would have thought when Bellinger had that awkward play at first base in Oakland on the first trip of the year that it would go this long? You know, he certainly didn't think so. Hairline fracture, not a whole lot you can do. Gotta sit there and wait for it to heal. Kirsten mentioned the video. He looks good.
It's all to tolerance.
What a frustrating injury, though. I mean, it's not like you can rehab the muscle or anything. Sit and wait. And McKinstry, in a very short time, made himself feel like a indispensable piece.
You lose an MVP, you lose a hot young player, you lose 4 key pieces out of your bullpen. Not many rosters can take that hit and still do what the Dodgers are doing.
Betts lifts one to right center field, but not particularly deep. Garrett Cooper makes the catch. One away for Seager.
Not to mention losing Dustin May.
And Corey Knebel. Yeah. David Price. Bruce Gratterall. Joe Kelly up until recently.
Yep.
Everybody's dealing with it, though. We talked about the Marlins, their key injuries, their center fielder, their second baseman, their catcher, 2 of their starting pitchers. 1 ball, no strikes on Seager.
Trying to catch the scrappy Giants.
Mentioned the Giants lost in extras in Pittsburgh tonight. Padres are hosting the Cardinals, the team tied with the Giants for the best record in the National League. And it is 3-0 Padres in the 4th inning. Joe Musgrove taking the ball for the Padres. Since his no-hitter, Padres have lost 4 of his 5 starts, and he's given up 10 runs in his last 10 innings. They're without Tatis and Myers, who both tested positive for COVID-19. Hosmer, Profar, and Mateo also out because of contact tracing. On 3-1, Seager watches strike 2. Ground ball, base hit. Second one tonight for Corey Seager.
Good to see Corey have a multi-hit game. He's got a few more at-bats in this game. This offense should not stop tonight. If the score would have stayed 8-0 for a little longer, maybe Dave Roberts think about getting different people off their feet. But with the 8-4, the response These guys are going to be playing all 9 and trying to get some more runs.
Turner takes the ball. The 2 strikeouts so far. Turner on this homestand 1 for 10 with 6 Ks. Turner for a lot of the year has been the most consistent hitter, putting up the best numbers. Still overall that's the case, but as he started to fall back a little bit, it's corresponded with some other guys getting hot. That's how it tends to go.
For a long time he was the only hitter over 300, and now with Matt Beatty getting hot, he's over 300. Clayton Kershaw with his hit,
that's true,
he's over 300, so he's helping bolster the offense.
Yeah, Clayton rakes. 1-2 on Turner. Seven runs per game almost in wins. Fewer than 3 per game in losses. Sitting at 8 through 3+ tonight. Seager leads from first as Curtis comes home to Turner with a 1-2 and just misses, ball 2.
That's a rarity. We've seen wide outside corners to righties pretty much all year. Justin getting to stay in the box. Maybe an oversell behind the plate from Wallach.
It's a good take there, full count.
Big boy take.
John Curtis, who the Dodgers saw in the World Series last year, pitching for the Rays. Turner pulls a base hit against him into left. So he joins the hit party, the 9th of the game for LA.
Two good takes gets you another opportunity, and Justin Turner takes advantage.
Brings up Max Muncy. Hit a 3-run home run his last time. We look at it on StatCast, powered by Google Cloud.
Beautiful catch. I don't know if we could StatCast that part, but Max Muncy did well, and so did she.
Enough hang time for the coverage team to get down there. Strike 1. So that's a home run in 3 straight games, and it's 5 homers in his last 8. Quickly 0-2. And a couple sliders from Curtis. Fastball rings him up. 2 out.
Struck out on 99 his first at bat, and now this strikeout sandwiches his home run.
Taylor walked and scored in the 8-run second. Bouncing ball to Rojas at short, goes the short way and ends the 4th. Dodgers lead at 8-4 to the 5th. On Sportsnet LA is brought to you by Carl's Jr. The Steakhouse Angus Thick Burger is back at Carl's Jr. Feed your happy. And by Jacoby and Myers, the official law firm of the Los Angeles Dodgers. It was on this date in '81, Fernando Valenzuela capped off his 8-0 start with a 3-2 win over the Expos thanks to a walk-off home run from Pedro Guerrero. 9 innings in all 8 games, 5 shutouts out of those 8 games, and 4 runs total. And that man there remains the only pitcher since 1945 to win each of his first 8 big league starts. That's ball 1 on John Birdie, his first at bat of the night. Came on in a double switch earlier. And that's the thing that I don't think deserves or gets as much attention as it deserves, right? We talk about the cultural phenomenon that Fernando Valenzuela was, that Fernando Mania was, and what it meant for the city. And for good reason, it meant all those things. But the fact that he was otherworldly, what he was doing as a pitcher, and it's not been matched since, and it wasn't matched before that for 40 years. We're talking about one of the great stretches for any pitcher ever. Kershaw strikes out Birdie.
And it was unexpected because he wasn't putting up those kind of numbers in Double-A where he got called up from. And the length, not just winning the games, but completing the games. And it's one thing to throw a no-hitter, which Fernando did, but you're in and out of the news pretty quick. But to do it over consecutive starts for 2 months, that's when really the legend just builds.
Back to the top of the order, Miguel Rojas hacks the first one towards the left field corner. That's a base hit. Rojas has been on all 3 times as he will cruise into second with a double.
Most of the league tries to pick on the first pitch with Clayton Kershaw. Not as many first pitch strikes today, just below 50%. Normally it's about 2 out of every 3 that he attacks on the first pitch and gets a strike in there. The league hitting about 400 off him on the first pitch when they put it in play.
A man in scoring position for the league leader in RBIs in Jesus Aguilar. 32 of them this year. Those 9 home runs that he's hit, second in the league, those have all come in the last 18 games, and they've come after he decided to abandon his diet. He said enough of this arugula, added back arepas and the other comfort foods that he grew up eating in Venezuela. More carbs, more homers. 1 ball, 1 strike. Rojas is second, 1 out, 4-run game in the 5th, 2-1 pitch. He's taken low, ball 3. This is the part of the game where Jesus Aguilar has gotten so much better. First year in Milwaukee, 2017, he struck out 30% of his plate appearances. He's down to 15%. He's cut it in half. Big league average is 24% right now. So he went from well above average to well below it. He takes the walk, 2 on with 1 out. And when I say below the average, I mean in a good way. Strikeout at a lower rate than average. Let's check in with Kirsten for an update on A.J. Pollock.
Joe, the Dodgers have confirmed that A.J. Pollock left the game with a left hamstring strain.
Okay, so that was what was feared, that there's an aggravation of that injury from last Friday night. Garrett Cooper drove in the first run of the game for the Marlins. Strike one.
Disappearing slider. It seems like that's going to be the pitch that gets him out of this jam. Cooper hit an inside fastball that frustrated Clayton. Didn't hit it well, but hit it in the right spot.
Curveball 0-2.
Good double play candidate.
Sharply hit past Turner. Taylor races over to get it. Rojas in to score on a double from Garrett Cooper, and it's 8-5.
Hit hard, would have been 2 if it was at Turner, but this one goes down the line. Slider that stayed a little bit in the middle. We've seen plenty of times where they swing and miss at it. This one getting barreled up just under Justin Turner's glove.
Tying run comes to the plate in the form of Adam Duvall, who took Kershaw deep his last time. A no-doubt shot, his 7th of the year.
Hanging slider that he crushed. See what he starts him out with.
Fastball, strike one. Hit 16 homers last year. That was 3rd in the National League. As for the Atlanta Braves, Dodgers caught a break early on in the National League Championship Series when Duvall left with an injury and was lost for the remainder of that series. Got a pair of 30 home run seasons in his career. Curveball is hit gently up along third, fielded by Barnes. He gets the out. Muncy comes across the line to bring it in.
Austin Barnes with a very good baseball clock. When you think about, is this the perfect swinging bunt, and this is going to be a hit, so we should try and let it go foul. The curveball just gets hit off the end of the bat, and the spin is starting to take some effect, but Austin reaches down and just grabs it quickly. Makes a quick decision right there and makes a nice throw with some fancy footwork from Max Muncy.
Two on, two out. Here's Brian Anderson. Kershaw struck him out both times. So Anderson has been at his best in his career. .343 hitter with men in scoring position. Big rip and a miss at a slider.
Austin Barnes doing another good job back there behind the plate for Clayton Kershaw. And right here, since Kershaw gave up the home run on a hanging slider, he's got to be ready to really block the slider down. Kershaw is not going to want to make another mistake up.
Oh, and 2.
Especially here. He's got some room to throw pitches that look like balls, look like strikes, ends up balls, and you wouldn't want to really bounce it here.
Sticks with it and strikes him out. 10 total tonight for Kershaw. The Marlins get one and cut it to 8-5 halfway home in LA.
week as the Dodgers face the Diamondbacks for a 4-game series that there's still time to get your tickets. Fully vaccinated fans can enjoy more flexible seating options in our fully vaccinated fan zones, where tickets start at $25. Visit Dodgers.com/vaccinated sections to make your purchase.
Kershaw getting his 10th strikeout. Everybody gets a free Jumbo Jack tomorrow with the purchase of a large drink. Gavin Lux couldn't lay off. Strike one. Lux doubled and scored in that 8-run second. Curtis comes home. Lux hits a fly ball to left center field towards the gap, pulled in by Duvall. Oh, one gone in the 5th. And here's Beatty. I mentioned this is the anniversary of start number 8 of Fernando Mania. It's also the anniversary of the Dodgers and the Marlins pulling off a 7-player trade in 1998 that brought Gary Sheffield, Charles Johnson, Bobby Bonilla to the Dodgers, sent Mike Piazza and Todd Zeile to the Marlins. Yeah, Piazza was a Marlin for a week before they flipped him to New York. 2-0 on Beatty. That was part of a season that was so bad for the Marlins that 2 season ticket holders sued the team and claimed that they had issued false advertising in an off-season pamphlet they sent out where they talked about trying to repeat as champions. And this pamphlet prominently featured Gary Sheffield and Charles Johnson. And the front office proceeds to get rid of 12 players from their championship team. They cut payroll in half. And they got rid of the 2 guys that were on the cover of the pamphlet. And that 7-player deal is the last straw for these season ticket holders who cited all those things in the lawsuit. Then watch the franchise go on to lose 108 games that year after winning the World Series the year before. 2-2 on Beatty.
Won the World Series in Game 7 in extra innings.
Sorry to bring that one up.
Oh, it's okay.
You actually specifically brought that up.
But I happened to be pitching for the Cleveland Indians at the Marlins beat and didn't have a very good World Series.
Old Pro Player Stadium. I know that was never fun to pitch in midsummer. What was it like during the postseason? Was it?
It wasn't bad.
Okay.
It wasn't bad at all. The mound was really high. I think it was actually illegal. Did not want to complain. Actually hit my head on the top of the dugout right before I took the mound in the first inning.
Beatty bounces one up the middle. Diaz with a backhand play and dug out smoothly by Aguilar. Ball popped out there as he transferred it. 2 gone. You hit your head right before.
Yeah, they had the beams that kind of supported the dugout because they weren't legitimate like baseball dugouts, and they were like every 10 feet. There was one that hung down. It probably was only, I don't know, 5'10". Maybe you had to duck under them. And I got up, all excited to go pitch first inning of the World Series, and happened to be right under one. Bam!
Almost knock you out? Like,
no,
you
it
see
had
stars?
Padding. I didn't.
Okay.
Yeah, a little bit. I saw just a little bit, but I think it was stars just from being in the World Series.
Strike one on Barnes. Same thing happened after they won it in 03. Disappeared for 17 years out of the postseason. Sharply hit. Burning Worms on its way to short. Picked up by Rojas And the Dodgers down in order in the 5th. Our junior Dodger of the game is Jezebel from Los Angeles, and her favorite player is Justin Turner. To join Junior Dodgers for a chance to be the junior Dodger of the game, go to Dodgers.com/JRDodgers. In case you missed it last inning, everybody gets free Jumbo Jack tomorrow on 10 strikeouts from Clayton Kershaw, who's thrown 88 pitches through 5 innings. Not quite as sharp, not quite as efficient as usual. But the 8th spot in the 2nd inning has him in position to still win this game as he goes back out for the 6th.
It's one of those ones you just battle and try and secure the W and move on.
Ball 1 on Isan Diaz, 6, 7, and 8 in the order. Diaz 0 for 2 tonight, 0 for his last 15. His days as the starter at second base numbered, with Jazz Chisholm set to come back soon. Inside corner, 1-2.
A lot of times you don't see that pitch called right there when it's that close to the hitter and he's leaning back, but that one was a strike. Called accurately.
Didn't miss by much, 2-2. His 10 strikeouts for Kershaw, already a season high. Season high 23 swings and misses in this game. Poke to left, sends Taylor back. He's got it.
Shakey's Pizza is celebrating our educators with a Spectrum Sports Educator Sweepstakes. 8 lucky winners will receive a $50 gift certificate from Shakey's Pizza plus a virtual teaching kit. Enter online at spectrumeducator.com for your chance to win.
Hey, we were talking about Jared Kelenic making his major league debut for the Mariners. Got his first big league hit today, a home run. Here's Chad Wallach, who struck out both times. Strike 1 from Kershaw.
Congratulations. Yeah. What a thrill.
Ahead 1-2.
Clayton's 9th start. He's been over the 90 pitch mark 4 times with a high of 98, which he's creeping up against.
A 2-2. Foul ball.
I would think for sure this is going to be Clayton's last inning. Might be getting down to the last couple of hitters. The bullpen has been very good lately.
Count goes full on Wallach. 3 straight games, no runs from the bullpen. And coming off of the off day. Get anybody you want down there. Blake Trinan is warming. Clayton Kershaw about to throw his 100th pitch, a 3-2, and it leads to strikeout number 11. First time he's thrown 100 pitches in a game since September of 2019, and he struck out a season high 11 tonight.
Duvall hit a home run on a pitch like this. This one fools Wallach. He thinks it's going to be a ball, maybe not break in there, but it breaks just enough at the top of the strike zone.
Number 72, Cody Ortiz.
Cody Poteet sent up there to hit. Poteet is a pitcher. And he takes ball one inside. This is the pitcher spot in the order. And so instead of using a pinch hitter with the bases empty, they plug a pitcher in there. 1 ball, 1 strike. Dodgers 8, Marlins 5. Three and one. His 11 Ks have matched the most that Kershaw had last year. Last time he had 12 strikeouts in a game, August of 2019. Poteet pulls up to third, but Turner's there.
Clayton's last pitch, it's a loud one, but it's an out.
Brought to you by Kona Brewing Company. All the damage coming in the second inning tonight. All 8 runs for the Dodgers coming in the second. They lead at 8-5 as we go to the bottom of the 6th. Outside of that second inning, no runs on 2 hits tonight. Dave Roberts over there talking with Clayton Kershaw, who went just 71 pitches in his last start because they had the 13-0 lead. Most pitches he's thrown in 2 years here tonight.
22 swings and misses on the slider. We know he's throwing a lot more sliders, but that definitely is a career high. Second most was last year at 17 swings and misses.
Adam Simber comes in. Sheldon Noisy pinch hitting, strike 1. This is in Kershaw's spot. So his night officially ends here with a pinch hitter. Simber, somebody the Dodgers saw when he debuted with the San Diego Padres a few years back. Ahead of Noisy, 0-2. From the Padres to the Indians. And having a good year with the Marlins, like a lot of the relievers are. Marlins had the worst bullpen in the majors, 2018 through 2020. This year, they're 3rd in the National League. This is funky.
You don't have the uniform police like the NFL.
Yeah, the pants up above the knees, adding to the whole funky look. Fly ball, center field. John Birdie puts Noisy away.
A sidewinder with the funky outfit and the funky delivery.
Center fielder, number 50, Mookie Betts.
Walk and an RBI double for Betts. Strike one on Mookie. Former MVP. Know about his bowling expertise. He's also an expert solver of the Rubik's Cube. His mom told him, if you're not going to be good at it, don't waste your time doing it. Mookie good at just about everything he tries. David Schoenfield wrote an article for ESPN a few years back. He said if he had wanted to be an accountant, he would have been the best dang accountant there is. 2-1. Lucky for us, David wrote, he chose baseball. From Waterboy to MVP, the article said. Waterboy of his high school football team, and he says the best waterboy out there. Bounces one over Simber. Diaz behind the bag gets him. Quick word from Morongo.
It's calling belly up to the new sideline sports bar. Good time.
2 out. Here's Seager. Marlins pitching has retired 7 straight. Corey, who went 1 for 9 in the 2 games against the Mariners, 2 for 3 tonight. Sends one in the air to center. Plenty of room for birdie. And the Dodgers down in order in the 6th. World Champion Dodger Baseball on Sportsnet LA is brought to you by Morongo Casino Resort and Spa, the newest, friendliest, and safest casino resort. Good times. Who's in, who's out, brought to you by In-N-Out. After 6 innings of Clayton Kershaw, hands it over to the bullpen, and Blake Trinan tries to keep up what they've done the last 3 games. No runs allowed by the pen.
Blake hasn't pitched for 5 days. He is one of the workhorses. He tied Kenley Jansen last year for the most games pitched out of the pen, and he will be one of the most used this year for sure.
Not had too many clean rides. But traffic against him just about every inning, but he's found a way to strand a lot of that traffic. John Birdie came on in an early double switch. Watches 99, missed by a hair. Breaks the bat, rolled to second, Lux. On away. A quick word from Nissan.
This Dodgers broadcast is brought to you by the 2021 Nissan Rogue.
Back to the top of the order for Trinan, Miguel Rojas, who's reached all 3 times. Strike one. Strike 2.
Nasty pitch. Throwing the fastball at 99 and then that breaking ball at 88. That would hurt your wrist.
Hope he's all right, shaking the hand out.
Yeah. The ball took a severe left turn.
To second for Lux. He's shaking his hand out again. Such a key piece for this Marlins team that's already dealing with so many injuries, especially up the middle of the diamond. Catcher, their second baseman, their center fielder, and now they watch their shortstop wince his way into the dugout.
His glove hand when he goes out for defense might get to play until his next at bat. Then there might be a bigger decision.
Aguilar, a strike. Point with the fingers. If he has to come out, they're going to have to get a little bit nimble how they navigate things defensively. Yeah, John Birdie in center field right now. He can play some infield too. There's a chance he would move in. They've got a couple outfielders on their bench available, but no infielders. 2 outfielders and a catcher left on the bench. On a 2-1. It's 2-2.
Blake has thrown the fastball at 99. He's thrown the slider at 88, and that last pitch at 93 was his cutter. Very comfortable this inning on the mound.
Served into shallow center. Betts lays out and makes the catch. Mookie Betts takes a hit away from Aguilar.
Not the easiest of catches when it's right in front of you. Which way do you turn the glove? Mookie gets under it and leaves the glove upright and catches the ball.
Eight runs in the second inning for the Dodgers tonight. 4 in the third, 1 in the fifth for the Marlins. 8-5 score to the last of the seventh as Turner leads it off against Simber and takes a strike. Singled his last time up after 2 strikeouts over the first 2 innings. Goes back up the middle. He's got his second hit tonight. By the way, Miguel Rojas did stay in the game. A good sign for the Marlins. He's still in there at short. And here's Muncy. Ball 1. At the time, it seemed like just pouring it on, but the 3-run home run for Muncy in the second inning, which was his third in as many games, that's the difference in the game right now.
Hitting in a key spot in the order where the walks are good, but the hits are even bigger.
2-0. We talked about OPS the other night.
Yep.
Anything above 1,000, elite. Anything above right now, 703 above average. Muncy right now, 926.
On base plus slug. That's him.
And for much of the season, it's been just the on base. just via the walk. But he's adding in the other elements lately. 5 home runs in his last 8 games. He had hit 3 of them over the first month and a half. Ahead 3-1. Three and 2. The payoff. Muncy pulls another base hit into right. His second hit tonight, and the first 2 reach here in the 7th.
Top spin liner goes out and gets it. Outside corner of the plate, wraps it to right field.
Left fielder number 3, Chris Taylor.
Two on, nobody out. And here's Taylor, who's the only guy in the order without a hit tonight. Now, word from Jack in the Box.
Get my $5.99 50/50 popcorn chicken with both classic and spicy. Only at Jack in the Box.
Two guys there with parallel career paths. Not becoming everyday players until their late 20s. And eventually becoming leaders of their team. Taylor trying to gather some insurance here. 8-5 in the 7th. Takes high. Ball 1.
Everybody clap your hands.
That's in there, 1-1. Ross Detweiler. Softly hit. Won't be easy. Won't even try a throw with Taylor's speed. An infield single and the bases are loaded.
The author of barrels are overrated.
That's right.
Gets one himself right here. A little topper. Just roll it out there.
So everybody
perfect.
Everybody with a hit tonight. Looks like that is going to do it for Simber. Here comes Don Mattingly. Dodgers 8, Marlins 5, but the Dodgers have loaded the bases with nobody out here in the 7th. Calendar as this 9-game homestand continues. 3-game series with the Marlins, and then 4 with Arizona starting on Monday. First time the Dodgers will see the Diamondbacks this year, and then they'll see the Giants for the first time this year coming up next weekend. Ross Detweiler, 35 years old, former first-round pick, is coming into the game with the bases loaded. Dodgers up 3. Chance to really break this one open. Nobody out.
Bringing him in to face lefty, and lefties have hit him better than righties this year. Lefties are hitting him 278. Right-handers, he's dominated at 133 clip. Gavin Lux coming up. Got the scouting report and got a great situation to hit right here.
Against a guy in his 13th major league season with his 8th different club, and Detweiler. Bases loaded in the 7th. First one to Lux, taken down and in, ball 1. Gavin was 9 years old when Detweiler made his big league debut with the Nats in 2007. One for 3 tonight. Doubled and scored in the 8-run second inning. Ahead here 2-0. Turner, Muncy, and Taylor all with singles to chase Simber from the game. They only had 1 hit in the 4 innings before this since the second, coming into this frame. 2-0. Top of the zone, strike 1. On a 2-1 pitch, Gavin Lux swings and hits a bullet back to Detweiler, who throws wildly, and Turner will come in to score. Dodgers catch a break and get a run, 9-5.
Line drive back at you. Any comebacker with a man on first, you're always thinking. He checked third, and then he looks to second, and he's got a shot at Muncy, but he throws it wild. Looks like the hill on the mound threw him off when he went to throw to the base. Dustin Turner scampers home easily.
On an E1 after the line out. First and third one gone, and DJ Peters comes up as a pinch hitter. Pinch hitting for Matt Beatty. So Dave Roberts going with a right-handed hitting outfielder, with the lefty reliever on the mound. Well, a friend on Twitter gets his wish, tweeted and said, "Can you tell them to let DJ Peters hit?" Here you go.
It's a good phone call, Joe. You got down there?
Yeah, I got pull.
You got some pull. Joe is now taking requests.
We'll do my best to pass those along. One ball, one strike on DJ, who is 1 for 8 so far in the majors. One of these days he's going to get a hold of one, and it's going to make an incredible sound. Swings and misses, 1 and 2. Got him swinging. 2 out. And up comes Barnes.
Number 15, Barnes.
Change up. It tails and buries, and DJ is out in front, and it's a little wide.
One ball, no strikes. Wallach has done well all night back there, blocking balls in the dirt.
He's a big boy back there. He's got plenty to block with. He's a large human being.
You like that, right, as a pitcher?
Yeah, it depends. Sometimes I didn't mind the bigger guys. Sometimes you like I think it's more their catching ability, their rhythm, the way they set up.
Soch was a big dude.
Yeah, Soch, and he was great because when he moved a little bit, he could almost block umpires, make that outside corner wide.
Barnes, who doubled off the top of the wall earlier tonight, fouls this one back, 1-2.
Threw to Sandy Alomar a lot. It was a nice target, big guy back there. Rick Dempsey, pretty big guy, good target.
I guess there's also something to be said for the little guys that can get real low, though.
Exactly,
right?
yeah. Also got to throw to Tony Pena, who got down on one knee and kicked the other leg out and got really low. Love throwing to him. Love that target.
The 1-2 taken for ball 2. Seeing more of those one knee stances from catchers who are prioritizing the frame in the low pitch.
Always wanted the glove lower than the strike zone so the glove would be moving up.
You were having your catcher's frame before it was a thing.
So I even like the glove outside the strike zone on the 0-2, 1-2. You know, not only you're thinking, I want to get the ball away on the breaking ball, but again, if you hit the corner, the glove is moving back to the corner again instead of moving away from the corner.
2 on, 2 out, and a 2-2 pitch. Count goes full.
Dodger gets one more run that kind of break their heart. That 5th run managers love, where a grand slam can't tie the game.
So Luke Raley on deck with the pitcher's spot next if Barnes can keep it going. Muncy at third, Taylor at first, 2 gone in the 7th, and a 3-2 pitch from Ross Detweiler. Taken for ball 4 to load him up.
Hitter number 37, Luke Raley.
And so here is Raley. Last Dodger position player besides Will Smith. Dave Roberts having to go to the bench earlier than he had planned tonight, with A.J. Pollock leaving the game. The aggravation of that hamstring injury in the 2nd.
AJ might have a tough time convincing him that he doesn't need to go on the IL this time.
Strike 1.
We've got back to play protocols, you know, with every injury, hurdles you've got to get over as far as running the bases, different endurance things. I'm sure he passed all the hurdles, but there was something still in there that got him.
Really back and forth between the Dodgers and the alternate site, AAA Oklahoma City. Looking for his first big league hit in the month of May. His second at bat. Dodgers with a run in. Bases loaded, 2 away. Detweiler to Raley with a 1-2 pitch. Chopped along first for Aguilar. And that's that for the Dodgers in the 7th. They add 1 and lead at 9-5. World Champion Dodger Baseball on Sportsnet LA is brought to you by Nissan. Choose Nissan today for great offers on our most exciting lineup ever. Shop NissanUSA.com. Dodgers up 9-5 as we go to the 8th inning. Dennis Santana comes on to pitch.
He's had plenty of rest too, like Blake Trinan had 5 days off. So has Dennis Santana. Last outing wasn't his best. He's going to bring that fastball in the mid-90s and the slider and the changeup. Looking to have a good outing and lower that ERA. This is a nice soft landing spot for him.
A couple defensive changes. Peters stays in after pinch hitting, and Mookie moves to right. So Peters is in center. Betts is back to right. Beatty's out of the game. Santana to face Garrett Cooper. 3-4-5 for the Marlins. Cooper's had a good night in his return to Los Angeles. Manhattan Beach guy. It was a single and an RBI double. Ouch. 0-2.
They're in the instep.
Inside, 1 ball, 2 strikes.
Santana trying to join the zero parade. The bullpen has gone 7 straight scoreless innings. They're starting to get on a roll like the team.
Shattered bat. 2-hopper into the glove of Lux. Smooth throw on the move. 1 out.
Tonight on an all-new Backstage Dodgers, Matt Beatty hosts an off-season youth baseball clinic and gives a tour of his hometown in Dresden, Tennessee. Then Matt is mic'd up for his pregame routine before the Dodgers play the Angels. Don't miss Backstage Dodgers tonight, presented by Cadillac.
1 away for Adam Duvall. You know, we were talking about people managing the game over Twitter, and you said we'd take requests. You know, one time Vin Scully got to manage the game over the air. That's ball 1. They clinched the division early in 1965, and Walter Olson said, I've got an idea. I'm going to take a radio down into the dugout, and you tell me what to do over the air. So Vin happened to run into one of the guys early that morning who stayed up all night enjoying the championship celebration. That's hit on a line to center field. Peters moving to his left, has it. 2 out. But he had to play because his backup went even harder and was in no shape to play, so it wasn't like he was getting filled in for. Anyway, this guy comes up, gets a hit, and what does Vin do? He has Walter put the steal sign on right away. The guy who's in really bad shape over at first.
Okay.
Fouled off, so he's got to run back. Then puts the steal on again. Fouled off again. 3 straight foul balls on 3 straight steal attempts. And then eventually said, okay, take the sign off. You're on your own now, Walter. So he didn't abuse it. Strike 1 on Brian Anderson, who has struck out all 3 times tonight.
Did they win the game? Do we know?
Can probably find that.
Yeah. Got to find out what Vin's record is.
Right. That's base hit the other way for Anderson. Keeps the 8th inning going.
Got those inner manager records.
Second baseman, Isan Diaz.
Two out for Diaz.
Not a clean inning for Dennis Santana, but definitely throwing the ball much better, finding the strike zone, getting ahead.
That's a broken bat, base hit the other way.
He shattered 2 bats. This one off the end of the bat. The other one was a jam shot. Watch this ball run away from him. He just gets it off the end. Hitters will take it every time, even if you break their bat. They'll take that hit.
They did win, by the way. They won 3-0. Vin managed a shutout.
He's 1-0.
So Wallach and the Marlins trying to make things interesting here in the 8th. They've done it once today after the Dodgers scored 8 runs in the 2nd. Looking to make it a laugher. They scored 4 right away to get them right back in the game. Sales on Santana for ball 1. Two and 0. That's in there. 2-1. Now ball 3. Santana got the first 2 hitters of the inning. Anderson and Diaz back-to-back 2-out singles. If Wallach reaches, they get the tying run to the plate. Sandy Leon, backup catcher, with the pitcher's spot due next. Got a little help there. 3-2.
If he loses them, this guy is ready. Victor Gonzalez, who has been an integral part of this bullpen and the role they're on.
Runners will get a head start. There they go. Here it comes. He walked him, and the bases are loaded, and the tying run is coming up. 3 straight 2-out base runners. And here comes Dave Roberts. Leon announced as the pinch hitter, and it appears that is going to do it for Santana. So suddenly the Marlins making things interesting, getting the tie and run up there. On comes Victor Gonzalez.
Take on Nolan Arenado and the Cardinals in a 3-game series beginning Memorial Day, May 31st. Plus, enjoy all new food and beverage offerings in the newly renovated Centerfield Plaza, including Shake Shack, California Pizza Kitchen, and more. To purchase, visit Dodgers.com/tickets.
Victor Gonzalez called upon here with the bases loaded. The tying run coming to the plate in the 8th inning.
Fastball slider combo, and you really want a guy on the mound that throws strikes. He did very well last year. This year a little more erratic, but still very effective coming out of the pen.
Pinch hitter for the Marlins here in the pitcher's spot is Sandy Leon. 4 for his last 34. So Gonzalez trying to wiggle out of this jam that Santana leaves. Starts him with a strike. Santana got the first 2 men out. And singles from Anderson and Diaz. A walk for Wallach. And an 0-1 coming from Gonzalez. Almost hit him. In fact, it did. And it's 9-6.
Austin Barnes not so sure it hit him. He wants them to take a look. I thought on the field mic we heard 2 clicks. No. It's a tough look right there. Well, right here. That's a tough one too.
As the call on the field is under review. Challenging the call on the field, but the batter was hit by the pitch.
Would put the tying run at first base. Now you don't take a home run, it's a double. Might score 3. Call on the field as he got hit by the pitch. It's going to be hard to overturn.
Yeah, I agree. So it does at the very least stand. Tying on a board, go ahead run to the plate in the form of the 9-hitter John Birdie.
John Birdie.
Lewis Brinson pinch running.
Pinch runner is number 25, Lewis Brinson. First base.
With shades of the last time Kershaw started, last Saturday in Anaheim, where they led 13-0 and hung on 14-11. They led this one 8-0, clinging to a 9-6 lead here in the 8th. Gonzalez to Birdie. Strike 1.
That ends the bullpen scoreless streak.
Birdie, a 172 hitter this year, 2 home runs on a 1. Watches strike 2.
And if you're going to throw the breaking ball, you got to get the last one out of your mind.
And the Jansen warming in a hurry. Oh, 2 pitch in the dirt, kicks away from Barnes, but nobody moving.
Another breaking ball that he really doesn't have the release on. 0-2, you want to make sure you keep it down. This one he pulled a little too far down there. Nice job by Austin Barnes.
Bases loaded, 2 gone in the 8th. Dodgers by 3. The 1-2. He struck him out. Gonzalez limits the damage to 1. Keeps the lead 9-6 to the bottom of the 8th.
Max Muncy going deep for the 3rd straight game, Jerry. This capped an 8-run second inning for the Dodgers.
Like the kids say, Max Muncy, that funky Muncy.
3 outs away from a 3-game winning streak. See you after the game.
All right, guys, as Anthony Bender comes on to pitch. Dodgers 9, Marlins 6, last of the 8th.
Bender has a big fastball. We're going to see something around 98 miles an hour. Also throws the slider at about 85, so he can change speeds 13, 14 miles an hour.
26 years old, out of Petaluma, California, went to Santa Rosa Junior College. On to face the top of the order. Delivers strike 1. Bender, who spent most of the last 2 seasons in independent ball. Minor leagues with the Royals and then the Brewers. They cut him loose. A year ago, he had a 5.48 ERA in the American Association, independent ball. And now here he is 1 year later in the major leagues, having never pitched above Double-A.
It's for the Milwaukee Milkmen.
1-2.
That's a great name.
Sure is.
That team does eat dairy.
They have to. Yeah, they won't sign you if you don't.
Yeah, that's the whole post-game spread is dairy.
You're an almond milk guy? Get out. Betts checked his swing, 2-2. Now, what part of the cow do almonds come from again? Remind me.
Stop it. Not our whole audience was listening to that broadcast.
Just giving you a hard time.
Oh, almond flavored milk.
Backhand play. He's on Diaz to get Betts. It's because it comes from almonds. One away for Seager, who's got a couple hits tonight. 2 of the 12 Dodger hits. Fouled off, strike 1.
I think Corey has put 1 first pitch in play today, so that would give him 38. He might even have 2 tonight. next highest guy in all of Major League Baseball in putting the first pitch in play has 26.
Wow. That is strike 2. One and two. Anthony Bender, no relation to the Hall of Fame pitcher Chief Bender. Early 1900s with the Philadelphia A's. Charles Chief Bender. And go figure, he was probably the best breaking ball pitcher of the era. Had to. Couldn't be a fastball guy with the name Bender, although this Bender's throwing it up there 97, so maybe he could have. Full count. Chopper to Diaz. Seager's out number 2. They're looking ahead to the 9th inning, top of the order coming up for the Marlins against Kenley Jansen. It'll be interesting to see if Miguel Rojas hits. So he's been back out there defensively at short since seemingly injuring his hand or his finger. But had it gotten to his spot in the order, they were going to pinch hit for him. They had Corey Dickerson in the on-deck circle. So maybe he's fine fielding, but they're unsure about his ability to swing, grip a bat. 7th inning AB. He was wincing and squeezing his hand. Showed Don Mattingly his hand after he came off. Turner looks at his right.
It looked like it was something on one of the left fingers.
Down the right field line. Cooper's over to get it. And the Dodgers go down in order in the 8th. To the 9th we go. Kenley Jansen on to try and lock it down. On Sportsnet LA is brought to you by Jack in the Box. Go classic, spicy, or both with the new $5.99 50-50 popcorn chicken with ranch only at Jack in the Box. 9-6 game to the 9th inning. There's Kenley Jansen celebrating the World Championship, and his last 5 outings just 1 hit, no earned runs against him. Worked a 1-2-3 9th inning to finish off the Mariners on Wednesday night.
Has been better with more rest coming into this game. 2 days rest off of only 14 pitches. He has dominated hitters. They are not hitting him at all. Look at that .089 batting average against, and pretty much righties are hitting .077 and lefties only .105.
So the question we asked last inning, would Miguel Rojas hit? The answer is no. Will be Corey Dickerson to lead off this 9th inning. Dickerson top 10 in the National League in batting average, but off of the bench tonight with the left-handed starter in Kershaw. Dickerson, Aguilar, and Cooper. The game the Dodgers led 8-0 after 2 innings. First one from Jansen is in there, strike 1. Strike 2, 95.
Line it up, big fella. He's had the rhythm between the lower half and the upper half and gets that body in line coming down the hill directly behind the ball. He has shown us some elite velocity.
Oh, 2. What? 97. Here's his 1-2. Struck him out. 97 again.
Feeling froggy.
Ribbit. Second hardest pitch he's thrown this year. Second only to the one that he finished off the Mariners with back in Seattle in April. One gone here in the 9th. And so he faces the dangerous Aguilar, just how you want to face him. Bases empty and leading by 3. Strike 1. Aguilar doesn't like it.
Big fella saying that is low. He's saying that's at my shins.
Man, he is really getting down the hill.
Yeah, he is. The front leg is planting and he is just leveraging his body over it. We've seen him where he kind of spins off his front leg, kind of falls towards first base, but he is putting a lot of pressure into that front leg and then leveraging the baseball.
Backspinning fly ball, shallow center. Lux is out to put it away. 2 gone.
Lux doesn't want to get hit by DJ Peters, I'll tell you that.
That is a truck.
That's a mismatch in size. A lightweight collision with Mookie Betts, but not with DJ Peters.
Marlins down to their last out. Here's Garrett Cooper. 2 hits tonight. Strike 1.
Fastball is all over the map. We've seen 92 to 97. Maybe it's the two-seamer that we're seeing at 97 and the cutter that we're seeing more at 92.
Took off on him. 1-1.
His face says velocity.
He looks different.
He does. The last few outings, it's just been a scowl, but concentration.
He's talked about pitching angry. Slider misses away. Ball 2.
New ball, please.
Game 2 of the series tomorrow, 6 o'clock. Trevor Bauer for the Dodgers. On 2-1. Kenley Jansen delivers. Got it by him. 2-2. He got him. A 1-2-3 ninth for Kenley Jansen. And behind an 8-run second inning, the Dodgers win their third in a row by a final of 9-6.
What a night for Max Muncy and the Dodger team as they are starting to get on a roll here at home. Clayton Kershaw now with his 6th win.
Strikes out a season-high 11. Gave up a season-high 5, but got plenty of support. Those 8 runs in the second. They added 1 in the 7th, make things a little bit more comfortable. And they got their 3rd win in a row. They're 4th out of their last 5. Now 11-5 at home this year. For Orel Hershiser, Kirsten Watson, and the rest of our crew, Joe Davis saying so long from Dodger Stadium. Stay tuned. Access Sportsnet Dodgers, presented by your Southern California Ford dealers, begins now.